Meanwhile, week 11 of the NFL season is all but in the books. The Raiders actually head south to Mexico City. They'll face the Texans there tonight on Monday Night Football. To recap all that we then saw during yesterday's action, preview what we will see tonight, my old friend and foil, CBS Sports NFL writer Pete Prisco joins me from sunnier climes, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the scene. And Pete, I want to start with Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and a Cowboys offensive line. It's a team that's won 9 in a row, first time in their history. Hard to believe that. What did you make of their performance yesterday?
You know, the Ravens came in as the #1 run defense in the league, and they ran on them. And I think that surprised a lot. It surprised me. I know it surprised a lot of other people. Look, their offensive line, like you mentioned, Josh, is fantastic. The best we've seen in a long, long time. And it makes it easier on Dak Prescott to throw the football. When you can run the ball, take the pressure off the quarterback, it's a lot easier. They have a good team. I was one of those guys, Josh, that thought maybe it was time to go back to Romo. I'm not that guy anymore. I think they stick with Dak Prescott, and it's the right decision.
I want to turn to the game we saw last night. Packers lose a fourth straight. It looks like it's going to be a long winter in Green Bay. But Washington wins. They're 6-3-1 now. And really, if nothing else, it seems we saw two teams heading in opposite directions.
Yeah, it's definitely two teams going in opposite directions. But, you know, the thing about it was all week long, anybody talked about the Packers. They talked about Aaron Rodgers. There were stories written about him. Can the guy still play? Is he any good? I think he showed that he can still play. The problem in Green Bay is that defense. They've had so many injuries. They've taken so many hits on that side of the ball. And the flip side is Kirk Cousins came out and lit them up. And now the question, I don't think it's a question anymore. Will Kirk Cousins become a $100 million man? I think the answer to that question now is yes.
So, Washington then does what it does, and all of a sudden the NFC East, there were questions about this division, certainly when the Cowboys lost Tony Romo early, but now that each team in the division sits at 500 or above, you know, pick me a winner here, Bobby.
Well, I think if you look at the Giants' schedule, they're going to be the second-place team. The Cowboys are going to win the division. They're the best team in the division. They're the team with the good offensive line. Like we mentioned, their defense is getting better, and they're going to get guys back healthy. But it's all about the second-place team. When you look at the Giants' schedule, they go to Cleveland this week, should be a victory. They have a home game with Detroit. I think they should win that. And then the rest of the games, they have division games. If they get to 10 wins, I think they're the second team in the division. And once they get into the postseason, we've seen them make that run before. Eli Manning's done it. They have a good defense. They're starting to get better on defense. Watch out for the Giants. 500
would be good in most divisions. For the Eagles, though, well, it's a bad time to have as many losses as wins. Certainly was a bad time to go to Seattle as well, looking every bit a Super Bowl contender. If you don't like the Cowboys, perhaps you like the Seahawks. And a lot of it is because, you know, of a player I know you think is maybe the best of them all, Russell Wilson.
You know, I'm one of those guys that said he's good, not great. And I still believe that. But the way he's played the last couple of weeks, he's played great football, particularly at New England a couple of weeks ago. But this is a team that feeds off their defense. Remember, if they lead the league in scoring defense, they will be the first team to do it since the 50s Browns, which was a dynasty to lead it five years in a row. That's good company. They're great on defense. He's playing good football. The offensive line played better against the Eagles, Josh, which I didn't think they would be able to do. They're a good team in November. They're a good team in December. And they're going to be a really good team in January.
Roughly 2/3 of the way through. Who's your MVP?
You know, I thought it would be Tom Brady, and I still probably would lean that way. But Matt Ryan's in the conversation. You have to look at the Cowboys. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott, whichever way you want to go there, probably the running back in that situation. But I think those are the leading contenders for the MVP. And you might throw Russell Wilson into that mix if he continues to play well down the stretch.
Okay, so quickly, tonight, let's head to Mexico. Texans and the Raiders. Again, if there's a team that might challenge New England come January and into February, it might be Oakland. What do you make?
They got to get better on defense, and I think that's something to look as we move forward with the Raiders starting tonight. When you look at them on defense, they've had a lot of problems, but they're getting better, and some of those younger players on defense are getting better. They put Perry Riley into the lineup and to help the run defense, but I think for them, they're going to score points. For them, it's all about the defense. If they're going to move forward in the postseason and compete with teams like New England, they have to be better on defense, Josh.
Well, Texans quarterback Brock Osweiler might be just what the doctor ordered then for that. Pete Prisco.
Yeah, he's not very good.
No. Of CBS Sports. Great to see you, my friend. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime.